When died, I laughed so hard. Like, I laughed embarrassingly loud in the movie theater. Let me pretend I'm using the camera. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's up, guys? It's SonicHaXD here, and I just saw the Mortal Kombat movie, so I'm gonna talk about it. Now, you might be wondering, Sonic, how did you see the Mortal Kombat movie this early? Well, I couldn't have done it with my lovely friends, Wiener Bros. I want to especially thank Wiener Bros for giving me the early access. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I think they hate me. I just live in Asia, and for some reason we got the movie on April 8th, which is a lot earlier than most people. So I get to watch it early, and I'm gonna review it now. I'd like to make one more disclaimer before we start. I am watching this movie from a Mortal Kombat fan's perspective, so I have a lot of reference and things to compare with previous games and previous movies. So I'll probably have a different experience than just regular moviegoers. So let me start with the synopsis of the film. We all know the Mortal Kombat story already. It's a tale as old as time. Earth has to have a karate tournament with aliens known as Outworld, and if they lose, then Outworld gets to invade their planet. It's always been like this, the Mortal Kombat lore. However, this movie changes it up a bit. I don't really think it's a spoiler, but the trailer doesn't really tell you. The story of this movie is Shang Tsung is going to send his troops to kill off the Earthrealmer participants before the tournament even starts. That's the movie. That's the story of the movie. And when I heard that, I kind of rolled my eyes a bit. Oh my gosh, that's what we're going with? Just a heads up, it's a Mortal Kombat movie without the Mortal Kombat tournament. Now, I will give it points for being more unique in that aspect. So it's definitely something a bit more different than what you're used to from Mortal Kombat. But enough about that. The important question is, how did I feel about this movie? Now, I know a lot of you come to my channel and have an expectation of me completely bashing anything Mortal Kombat related. Oh, Sonic hates Mortal Kombat. He absolutely despises NRS and Warner Brothers. If Ed Boon just breathed in front of him, he would spit in his mouth. That sounded more dirty than it should have. SonicHaXD hates everything Mortal Kombat related. Now, you're not entirely wrong, but this movie, I'm kind of in a mixed bag with it a bit. There were things I liked about it, and there were things I really hated about it. And then there were things that, in my opinion, were so bad that they were good. Like, they were so dumb that I laughed super hard while watching this movie. I guess I should start with some individual parts of the film. The story, I will say, I wasn't too sure where the plot was going, because I'm kind of used to the Mortal Kombat plots, but this is completely something different. So I will say I wasn't sure who and who are gonna fight, and what's gonna happen to who, and yada yada. So I will say I wasn't entirely sure how the plot was gonna go, and that was something interesting. But it is still, like, in the flow of, like, a generic action movie, though. The characters are one of the important things in this movie. Let me just say this up front. I walked into this movie thinking I would not give a damn about any character. I walked out of this movie really not giving a damn about any character. They are so whatever-y, if you know what I mean. I did not really have a care for most of the characters in the film. The heroes have really dumb motivations that you want to care about and stuff like that. The villains, if you guys are looking forward to seeing what the villains will provide, don't, because story-wise, they are just fodder. They are just there to fight, period. So don't look forward to seeing any villain developments in this film. Sorry, Melina fans. I would go individually in each character, but I think that would take too long. So I'm just going to mention the main character of this film, Cole Young. Fuck Cole Young! Oh my gosh! This guy is horrible! What were they thinking? It's okay. Cole Young isn't just a generic action movie main character. He is a pathetic, boring, unsympathetic action movie main character. They definitely try to make it as boring as possible. I did not give a damn about this character, and they keep shoving him into your face because of how much they think you will care about him. Which we don't! He's really freaking useless! Even though this movie is messy, Cole Young still somehow feels forced into all of this. It still feels like they're shoving in their OC into the Mortal Kombat franchise. I honestly was watching this character in the movie and I was thinking, what is the point of this character? Oh, but there is a point with this character, and it's in the second half of the movie. But I won't spoil that for now. I'll talk about that in spoilers. Overall, if you're looking forward to how they were going to handle Cole Young in this movie, don't! It is so bad! It is funny how bad it is! So yeah, the characters definitely were either generic, whatever, fine, or they were just bad. In fact, some of the acting, in my opinion, wasn't that good. Except, there is an exception. There is one character I liked in this movie. And I have a feeling a lot of people are going to share the exact same opinion with me. And that is, I liked Kano. Kano. I never would have expected to like Kano in any Mortal Kombat media, but he's really funny in this movie. If every character in this movie were playing and acting a character, Kano, I'm pretty sure, just walked into the set and just started spouting a bunch of nonsense. And it's hilarious. I really like this character, and it's really, really good. At least in my opinion. I actually really enjoyed this character, and I didn't expect that. He's definitely the replacement for Johnny Cage in this movie. Like, I get why people like Johnny Cage in Scorpion's Revenge now, because that's really how Kano is in this movie. So yeah, I didn't give a damn about any other character, but I really liked Kano. I really think he was a really funny character. Good job, actor name here. But of course, who cares about the characters? Because we're just here to look at the great action. And I'll give you that. Because actually some of the actions were pretty good. And then some of them were pretty shit. I feel like for each of the individual characters in the movie, you don't really care about their personalities or their motivations and backstories. You just want to see them fight. And you do. And it's pretty good, for the most part. I will say this, though. The movie is rated R, I believe. But for some reason in my theater that I watched, the movie was rated PG-15. I thought it was pretty funny. It's kind of like saying, you Americans and your weak pussy violence. PG-15 over here. And I actually have to agree that in terms of the gore and the violence, it wasn't that much. Like, I can only think about like 3 scenes in the movie that made me feel a bit like, oh, that was kind of violent. And only one scene that could involve an R rating. But overall, I think it was not that gory. If you want like a very, very gory fatality type kind of a Mortal Kombat film, I think Scorpion's Revenge does it really good. I feel like that's definitely something that was a bit lacking in this movie. The over-the-top fatality stuff. I felt like they kind of toned it down, if that makes any sense. Which is kind of a shame, because this movie is an R-rated film, so I was expecting to be more, but I was just more like, okay. With that being said, it doesn't really take away from the action, though, because the action is still, it's fun. It is cool. And some of them were really great. Some of them were also pretty shit. And by shit, I mean like, fuck, that's bad. Kind of a shit. Anything I want to compliment? I'm gonna compliment Sub-Zero's ice abilities. I think the CGI that they did with his ice abilities in this movie is really good. It looks really cool on screen. A lot of the other CGI is kind of shit, but Sub-Zero's ice is really cool looking. I bet they put all the budget into making Sub-Zero's ice physics look really good. And I think they do. I think it's one of the highlights in the film in my opinion. One negative I want to mention also is the editing is very weird and bad at parts. Like the film will get like cut out in really bad ways and it doesn't make a lot of sense. Like it actually does that in the film a lot and it actually kind of took me out of the movie in some parts. It definitely felt rushed, if that's the word to use, in terms of the editing, I mean. If you don't notice it, you don't notice it. If you notice it, you notice it. But I will say that's the downside in my opinion. So now I'm gonna get into spoilers. Spoilers! If you don't want to get spoiled about the Mortal Kombat movie, then jump to this timestamp so you can see my conclusion of how I feel about this movie. Okay, so what do I want to talk about first with spoilers? I feel like there's a lot I want to talk about, but I'm not gonna say everything because this is kind of like my first impressions, and I'll probably save my stuff for like later videos. I guess I'll start with the beginning of the movie. It's good, but the thing is, I just saw Scorpion's Revenge, and it tackles the exact same thing, and I feel like the one in Scorpion's Revenge is just better. But it's still a good scene though, you know, with Hanzo Hasashi in the backstory. And they turned Bihan into like a complete villain than, you know, a misunderstood character. I think that's fine too, you know, it simplifies the things a little bit more. Oh yeah, I should mention Cole Young a bit more detail. Holy crap! Why did they think making Cole Young a pathetic loser in the first half of the movie was a good idea? In the first fight he loses to a regular dude in the ring. How do you expect me to think he can take on Iceman or Lizard Man Monster? What, really? I get you have to build up your hero to make them more and more stronger and stuff like that, but he never wins in the first half of the movie. He's just a really regular normal dude. it's really baffling how boring he is. After he joins up with like Sonya and Kano and Liu Kang and stuff like that, it's like, I kind of forgot he was in the movie until he had like a conversation with Liu Kang. I was like, oh yeah, I remember, you're the main character of this film! And then the second half happens, but we'll get to there when we get to there. I guess I should talk about Reptile, because people know me as the scaly expert. Let me start by saying, in the trailers, I was expecting to be very disappointed with Reptile, but I actually kind of liked his action scene. It was pretty cool. It felt like 3 people were getting messed around by like a monster, by like a xenomorph monster kind of thing, and his invisibility move is pretty cool. So even though I knew Reptile was gonna die, at least he had a pretty good action scene. Like, he 3v1. So in a way, I'm kind of happy with that. But I guess I should mention the elephant in the room with Reptile is his design. Now, I will first off say this. As a Lizard Man enjoyer myself, I can appreciate a good looking Lizard Man. And I think Reptile looks pretty cool. I'm a little bit on the question mark part because he was invisible for about 80% of the fight, and he only showed himself at like the end part. So I'm not entirely sure, but I think he looks good. But of course the biggest issue with Reptile is, well, what exactly is what makes Reptile cool in all of our opinions? It's not just the fact that he's a lizard man. It's the fact that he's a lizard man that knows kung fu. He's like a ninja lizard man. And that's how he has been throughout like the Mortal Kombat games and stuff like that. This isn't a ninja kung fu lizard man. This is just a monster. And I feel like that kind of takes away the essence of what Reptile was in the games. I mean, of course I like Eon from Soul Calibur, but I do wish he looked a bit more ninja-y, if you know what I mean. But I will say this, I was expecting disappointment. I got off with a bit more of a mixed opinion, but overall I think it's positive. I kind of like Reptile in this movie. Even though he got killed off, I know that sounds sad. But whatever, because of the ending. I want to talk about Liu Kang a bit. Now, when you think of Liu Kang, I would imagine you would think of like a bit of a Bruce Lee ripoff, you know, like a cool kung fu man, but he's also very optimistic. I even sometimes call him the second Johnny because of how fun he is. Liu Kang in this movie felt weirdly religious? I don't really know how to put it. He acts very, very weird, and the way he talks, I can't describe it, but like, he just talks weird. He talks like he's trying to convince you to join their cause and stuff like that. It was unsettling. I don't know how to explain it. I'll probably have to rewatch it again to really get that feeling, but like, try to notice how he talks. It doesn't feel comfortable, if you know what, if I don't know if that's weird or not to say. And I don't know if it's bad acting or if the director wanted him to talk like that. And then there's Raiden. Raiden seems like he's really done with these people. Oh, these are the fighters who are gonna save Earth? We're doomed! I feel like Raiden was kind of lame in this movie. He didn't really do much. All he did was complain, and when he finally got what he wants, then he starts, okay, Chris, great. I'll mention the other thing about Raiden that I really dislike later, but like, overall, my opinion about Raiden is still the same as I stated in my reaction video. It's just a guy cosplaying as Raiden, as I felt. Oh, but I want to mention one more thing about Raiden. His accent is weird. And I get to say that because I'm Asian too. There are many Asian characters in the movie that speak English, but for some reason Raiden's English accent I actually couldn't understand half of it. I had to read the subtitles. It's weird. I don't know if that was what they were going with, but it's just, I couldn't understand what he was saying. Oh, and Kung Lao, when his first appearance showed up, when he did the teleportation with the shoom, stuff like that, that was pretty cool. My friend was immediately, he really liked Kung Lao, and he told me, it's stupid, but it's cool. So I kind of like that. And I think that's how a lot of abilities feel in this movie. But yeah, like my friend really especially liked Kung Lao. Shang Tsung directly attacks them, and Raiden puts up an electricity wall so that they can, you know, train and stuff like that. Sure. Afterwards, Oh my gosh, I forgot. They introduced this thing. I forgot what it's called. I'm just gonna call it the Chi. And it's like, if you're a fighter who's chosen to be in the Mortal Kombat tournament, there is a unlockable ability inside of your body, and we need to unleash it. That's why Liu Kang can use fire abilities, and Kung Lao can shoot his hat thing of a majiggy. And when I heard that plot point, I was like, oh no! Ah! Oh, it's so bad. Oh, it's so funny. So they had to unlock their abilities, and the first one who unlocks it is Kano. So remember that laser eye he has, you know, mechanical advancement? No, it's not a mechanical advancement. It is his fucking ability. It's his natural ability. He's the X-Men at this point. Oh, it's so funny. Oh, they did not need to complicate this, but it's so bad. It's so hilarious. And then afterwards, Kano betrays them, which I was actually kind of sad about that because I really liked Kano in this movie. I kind of wished he turned good, but yeah, it's Kano. He's still entertaining even when he's on the villain side. Oh yeah, let me kind of mention some of the other bad guys because we got a lot of them. We have Reiko, which surprised me. I mean, I didn't care about him, but kind of surprised me he was in the movie. Cabal was pretty cool, in my opinion. His abilities and his demeanor is kind of cool, I think. And then Goro, CGI. I'm not too big of a fan of it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Natara. Holy crap, Natara. Okay, Natara in the trailer, I believe, kind of had like these big giant wings. So it's like, okay, that looks kind of cool. But what about her front? How does she look? She looks, and I kid you not, me and my friends, we all saw Natara and we were just like, wow, she looks ugly. Okay, no offense to the person who plays Natara. It's not that you're ugly. It's that, first off, you have the blueprints of perfection right here in your grasp, and you chose to just put a generic lady with bat wings. Like, it didn't even feel like they tried. It felt very generic and bad. I did not like Natara's design. But anyways, they all go and attack the good guys, and they all have these cool battles. And, you know, it's fine, it's cool, you know, and stuff like that. But, oh my gosh! Something so bad! I believe my friend and I, we laughed at the same time. We were like, no way! It was just hilarious. Was how Natara fought. So, in the... Okay, I recommend you not to get spoiled about this part because it's so bad about how hilarious it is. But I'm just gonna talk about Natara here. So Natara is flying around the base and like Kung Lao notices her and he's prepared for Natara's ambush. And then Natara flies down, Kung Lao jumps onto Natara, and Kung Lao performs the fatality onto her, killing her. That's it! That's all Natara had in the movie! She showed up, flew around, and died! Fucking hilarious! I laughed so hard, not just because of the death, but I knew how many Natara fans were gonna be pissed when they see this. Oh, but I will say, her fatality is the most gruesome in the film. And then Kung Lao dies, which I was kind of happy about, because if all the good guys lived at the end, I would feel like there is no really big stakes and stuff like that. I mean, there still isn't, but yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention about Jax. So Jax loses his arms, and then he gets like these very puny metal arms. Is that really all technology has in the Mortal Kombat universe? Puny metal arms? I mean, how does Cabal has his abilities and enhancements? But that's not the best part. The best part is when Jax awakens his chi, his ability, you know what it is? It's his puny metal arms turning into cooler, more bulky, more stylish metal arms. My friend next to me could not stop laughing at that. He just like, Oh
yeah.
That scene broke him. It was hilarious. Oh! Okay, I have to talk about Ko Young in the second half of the film. Oh! This motherfucker. Okay, Raiden basically just tells Ko Young, You're actually useless. It's been like 1 hour in the film. Get out! We don't want you. And I was like, yes! Even though he's gonna come back, I know. And then he goes back to his family, and then Goro shows up and starts fighting Ko Young. In my opinion, Ko Young should have already died with like a couple of punches, but you know, he's main character. And then, Ko Young unlocks his chi ability. You wanna know what Ko Young's ability is? It is literally plot armor. I kid you not. He has his armor suit start to form up, and my friend was like, "What's this, Iron Man or something like that?" It's literally plot armor, so he gets hit, and he has nothing affecting him. And then he has like these two little sword things, you know, on the shoulder pads. You know, they're pretty cool looking. And then he kills Goro. Yeah! Ko Young sure has a great arc in this film. He saw his family almost dying, and he unlocked his plot armor! And then afterwards, Raiden teleports all the good guys away because he wants to save them. And okay, he explains the dumbest shit ever. In the games, Raiden cannot interfere with the tournament, and I completely get that because he's a very strong character. So he's like, oh no, you can't interfere in the tournament. It's unfair. Only humans can. Okay, sure. But you know how they explain it in this movie? Raiden can't interfere ever because of how strong he is, and the Elder Gods will punish him. That is hilarious that they added that. Oh, so Raiden is just never gonna fight in this universe ever again because it's not allowed. Now let me sidetrack back here. When Shang Tsung went and attacked Raiden and the other good guys, Raiden was like, this is unallowed. The Elder Gods will punish you if you do this. Shang Tsung was like, yeah, well the Elder Gods are kind of shit. And I think the funny thing is maybe people in the audience are gonna think like, oh, that's dumb and stuff like that. But me, as a veteran Mortal Kombat fan, I'll be like, yeah, I agree. The older guards are pretty shit. They really do nothing. They barely do anything. They are actually pretty shit in the games too. So I think that was pretty funny. And then our characters get the final showdown with each of the other bad guys. They take them out one by one. What I thought was pretty funny was like Raiden cannot interfere. He can't attack the bad guys, but he can teleport them. So then I have to ask, why not just teleport them off a cliff, blah, blah, blah. That'll make it boring. I get it. But now let me kind of sidetrack, and I want to talk about Mileena, because I wasn't really a big fan of her. Oh, wait. Hold up a second. Excuse me. I need to get my speakerphone out here. Disclaimer! Disclaimer! I do not like Mileena, not because she's black. It's not because she's black, that's why I don't like her. Disclaimer! Okay, with that out of the way, let me start complaining about her design. Mileena's appeal is that when she has her mask on, she looks like a damsel in distress. La 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 la, I'm an innocent little girl. And then when she takes off the mask, it's a horrifying Cthulhu monster. And that's the appeal of Mileena. Promising Young Woman knew about that, but I guess this movie just felt like, oh no, let's just make a generic assassin girl. That's it. With like ugly blood stains around her mouth. And only at the very, very, very end of the movie does she finally show her Tarkatan mouth. Like I would complain more, but she really doesn't even do that much, so I can't complain much. I wish she just had the Tarkatan mouth the whole time, but I guess it's a surprise reveal, ooh. But I have to say this because this is probably the worst and most funny part in the movie for me. Maybe not the worst, but it is really funny. When she was fighting with Ko Young, I think, she then starts to reveal her Tarkatan mouth. I think she bites one time, and then oh yeah, I forgot to mention, Kano and Sonya had a fight. I think that's the only good fight Kano had. And Sonya also unlocks her chi. So anyways, Sonya appears, does like a flip-de-doo, and then she uses her energy ring ability, which by the way, is not a technology thing she has. It's her special ability, by the way. Her X-Men ability. She shoots, pew! And then she just kills Mileena. When Mileena died, I laughed so hard. Like, I laughed embarrassingly loud in the movie theater. I was just like, oh wow, people's favorite character, Mileena, gets blasted by Sonya out of nowhere. I laughed just so hard. It was I just couldn't contain myself. I knew Mileena fans were gonna be so pissed when they see that. Amazing. Oh my gosh, it was horrible. And then the final showdown, Sub-Zero fights against Scorpion! Even though I'd have no idea how Scorpion returns into this movie. Oh, but he has revenge, so he wants to come back. And it's pretty good. It's actually a pretty cool fight scene, you know, Scorpion and Sub-Zero. But you know, because Ko Young is the main character, he has the button into this fight. So it's Scorpion and Ko Young fighting against Sub-Zero. Boo! There was a really funny scene in the movie where like Scorpion is having a fight with Sub-Zero, and then Scorpion like kind of gets knocked down, and then the camera pans to like Ko Young, and you know what he's doing? He's not fighting Sub-Zero. He's still trying to save his wife, honey, and he punches the ice. Put. I was like, dude, defeat Sub-Zero first, you idiot! Oh yeah, there's a really funny scene also that I want to mention about Scorpion. So when Scorpion shows up, he takes off the mask. And then he's like, you remember this face? And then he puts the mask back on. And then I believe there's another scene where he takes the mask back off and then starts talking, puts the mask back on, and then he does it again, takes the mask back off, uses that fatality move, puts it back on, and then takes it off again to talk to Ko Young. It's like, dude, I know the actor who plays Scorpion is a very, very famous and influential actor, but come on! That's just funny, in my opinion, the way he just keeps taking off his mask. And then at the end of it all, Shang Tsung shows up, and he's like, you think you've won? I still have my other warriors. And I was thinking, oh, does he mean like Ermac and Katana? And then the screen shows Sub-Zero's body being like covered up in smoke and taken away. Goro's body being covered up in smoke and taken away. And that is, in my opinion, one of the biggest fuck yous to like the audiences. Because it's like, yeah! We can kill off characters. You think we don't dare to? Oh no, we're just kidding. Don't worry, guys. They'll come back as Revenants in the next movie. You know, we can bring them back. Haha. Stan Mileena, Stan Reptile. Ha. Pussies. They don't dare to kill off characters. Lol. I thought that was pretty funny. But yeah, that basically means that they're probably not dead. And then the movie ends with Ko Young implying he's gonna go find Johnny Cage. In my opinion, that is how they end the movie. It felt a bit forced. I felt like that's kind of like the director saying, haha, we didn't have Johnny Cage in this movie. What you gonna do about that? Oh shit! People complained tremendously that they wanted Johnny Cage.
I'm so sorry. Don't worry, guys. I'll add this one ending scene where, like, it implies Johnny Cage is gonna be in the sequel. Please forgive me. Ooh.
For me personally, I don't need Johnny Cage because I have Kano. So, and then the credits roll, and a pretty cool Mortal Kombat theme song remix starts playing. I'll probably have to listen to it again because I think it was alright. And that's the movie! That's the movie. So overall, I think this movie is pretty shit. It's pretty bad, but I really enjoyed it. Like, I had a very, very good time. If you don't care about the story, if you don't care about the characters, if you don't mind getting pissed off as a Mortal Kombat fan, and if you can laugh at these bad things, like I did, and just enjoy some good action, then yeah, I would recommend this movie. In terms of a rating, I think I will give it a 4 out of 10. It should be a 3, but my enjoyment bumped it up to like a 4. Here is the ultimate praise I will give to this movie. Scorpion's Revenge is the better movie, but I enjoyed this movie much more. I had a lot of fun with this movie, and I think that means it succeeded at what it was trying to do. Make a dumb action movie, but at least you had a lot of fun with it. I guess it worked out that way, so great job. You did a good job, director. Congratulations on making me enjoy this movie. Now prepare yourself when I absolutely trash the heck out of this movie in my sucks video. It's so happening. There's so many details I cannot wait to analyze when I get my greasy hands onto this movie. Woo! I'm looking forward to making the sucks video on this. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. These are my early impressions. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have a lot of things changed later on. So this is just, you know, I just watched the movie 12 hours ago. So my mind is still like kind of rushing with all these thoughts and whatnot. And just so you guys know, I want to make the sucks video for this. So I am gonna do that. And it'll probably happen earliest June, latest after June. But I would say before the sucks video, I'm gonna be doing like an interesting event that I'm gonna involve my fans with you guys. And if you want to know what that is, then either follow me on Twitter, join my Discord, or turn on notifications and you will be notified what this thing that you guys can join in on is. It's not that complicated. It really is just like a semi-Q&A kind of a thing. It's like a comment adventure kind of a thing. But yeah, either way, I think you guys will have a lot of fun when I do this, so stick around for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I had a blast watching Mortal Kombat in the theater with my friends. I hope you guys will have a blast watching it on your monitors. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye! So I'd like to mention something. You guys have been drawing some really cool fan art for me, and I really appreciate it. What the fuck is this? Is that like a red mono-me with my head on it? Keep it up. I love it.